Hey everybody, welcome to The Commit. I'm joined here by Rob Spectre today from Twilio.
What's up?
What's up?
How we doing?
We're doing great.
What are we talking about?
Today we're talking about mentorship, trying to help you become a better developer.
I hear that.
Right? So I think a lot of people ask about mentorship and they've got a lot of different ideas about what it means, but today we're really focusing on mentorship in terms of your career. And so let's talk a little bit more about what a mentor is.
Gotcha. There are a lot of different relationships that you have with a lot of different people that are important to your development as a professional. And some of those people are going to be coaches. They're going to be giving you like a specific skill or imparting some specific domain expertise for you to develop. Some are going to be bosses. They're going to be providing you accountability and hopefully serving you and providing you everything you need to do the best job. A mentor is a similarly specific role in the sense that it's an informal relationship with a person who is committed to helping you develop into the person that you want to be, the professional that you want to be.
Right. So obviously this isn't your boss, not your therapist, like you said, but what can you expect from your mentor on maybe like a per encounter basis?
Well, hopefully the mentor is bringing some perspective to the problems that you are facing currently as a professional. Now, particularly since we're software engineers, right? Like I feel acutely a sense of myopia whenever I'm addressing a particular problem, right?
Just want to go right into the code and be like, all right, just need this API, gonna get it solved.
Well, because the default state of everything that we work on is broken, because the distance between looking like a genius and looking like an idiot is like a character wide. By virtue of our vocation, you're going to have a singular, like telescopic view into a particular problem. And mentors, at least I've seen for developers, the best ones are the ones that bring a wide angle lens to every like encounter.
So if that's what a mentor helps you do, sort of gives you a better look about it, how do you go and find that person?
Well, the likelihood is very, very high that you have one already and you haven't like codified that relationship, right? One, because that codification is kind of weird. I can't say that I've had a number of people walk up and be like, Rob, will you be my mentor? Because it's
what are you supposed to say?
It has happened on a couple of occasions, and I think what those individuals were looking for is something different. The thing that I always advise folks to do when they're looking for mentors is to treat it the same way that you would treat the acquisition of any technical skill. Just like it's going to be an intentional, conscious thing to learn a new programming language, get up to date on a new mobile platform, pick up a new API, so too should be the folks that you surround yourself with that are actively investing in your development. The mentors that I found the most fulfilling through my career are usually folks who are not technologists themselves.
Right, so not someone that even necessarily has to work in your field, not someone that writes software every day, but someone who could be from anything, different discipline, different business.
Yeah, I had an internship working for a fleet of ocean-going vessels, and there was a merchant mariner, so a person who has made his living on the high seas that I got to work with over the course of that summer that had a profound influence on the way I hire today.
And do you still interact with that mentor?
Yeah, Stefan Byrne. I still talk to him if he's watching. The moment that I knew he was going to be a person that I was going to continue working with for the rest of my career was a very precarious situation that we had in Houston. There was a big flood, and one of the ships, so this is a gigantic, like quarter-mile long,
big
oil container, carried 3/4 of a mile and deposited it on top of a trailer park. His job was to get out the ship. My job was obviously very easy, and we're running around Houston trying to find a series of water pumps that would be big enough to do this job. We get in the car with the engineer. The engineer reaches under his dashboard and pulls out a breathalyzer machine. We go to the first place. They don't have what we're looking for. He goes back into the car, and I just grab Stefan, and I'm like, dude, who are we working with here? This is insane, right? We need to get a serious engineer here. And he's like, he is a serious engineer. He's like one of the best engineers we have. What are you talking about? Anybody else, this is going to take 3 weeks. This guy is going to get it done in 3 days, right? This is nuts. And he's like, Rob, every great engineer is eccentric. And he hasn't been drinking. Get in the car. And I think it has a pronounced effect on the service that I provide the developer network crew at Twilio, and also the way I hire now. Everybody that produces really great technical work has something wrong with them. And I think Stefan showed me very early on the power of being the kind of leader that can harness that eccentricity in a creative fashion and do amazing things. They actually got the ship out in 2 days.
Wow.
Which, if you walked up to the situation, you were like, there's no way this is going to change for like a month.
So that's cool. I mean, like you both shared like an interesting lesson, an interesting experience, and you're still friends later. So maybe it sounds a little bit like it's good to have a shared interest or have that type of shared experience with the mentor. Maybe that's an interesting way of sort of like kickstarting that relationship.
I think there are a number of places you can meet these mentors. The workplace is one of those places, but it's not the only one of those places. I think probably the fastest possible way to find a really, really good mentor is to volunteer for something. Like volunteerism is something that will profoundly not just give you a good sense of satisfaction and contribute meaningfully to the world, but will also profoundly change your career. Right? The folks that care about making the world a better place are absolutely the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. And I suspect if you get involved in those activities, regardless of what problem domain they are, you will usually find someone who would be actively interested in helping you become the professional you want to be.
Yeah, and I think kind of as a follow-on to that, it gives you something else to talk about. Like you can't just talk about your career and work 100% of the time.
The best ones aren't necessarily the ones that you just went to for advice, right? The best ones are the ones that you went to with a really thorny problem, and they gave you the perspective and asked you the right questions for you to come to a conclusion that you felt worked the best for you and the problem that you were trying to address.
Cool. And is there maybe any advice you have about being a good mentee?
I think, I'm not sure I'm a great one. Truthfully, the folks that I've worked with, I've really enjoyed working with the most, are always the ones that check in with stuff that they found that they think I might find is interesting. Like, hey, here's this company that I just talked to. You probably haven't heard of them yet. They're amazing. Or, hey, I just picked up this record from this band that you may not have heard of. These folks are fantastic. Or, hey, I just saw a show at this venue. They seem to have taste that's like very similar to yours. Usually that's a great starting point for a good conversation.
I guess how often should you be in touch with your mentor?
I think whatever's natural for that relationship. The best mentor relationships are the ones where you can pick right back up where you left off. There's some mentors I talk to every week. There's some that I talk to every month. Some that I talk to every year. Having a wide constellation of those, like a number of folks that you engage with in that capacity, should create a circumstance where there's a good rhythm check-in with folks, so you can be like, yo, am I completely off base here? Like, am I looking at this problem the right way?
Cool. And last one for you. Do you think you can have more than one mentor?
I think you should have more than one mentor. In the same way that you would never write, a single test to cover a particular application, so too you shouldn't have a single mentor that is responsible for guiding you as an individual. And those mentors should not have a single thing in common. Like if the only mentors you're talking to are other programmers, you're likely to be missing out on an opportunity to be a more richly rounded professional. And that's not to say that you, as a programmer, you shouldn't have programmer mentors. Absolutely should. But they shouldn't be the only people that you're talking to.
All right, Rob, thanks so much for joining us today.
Dude, thanks for having me by. This place is, look at this with this stuff. This has been fantastic. This has been a lot of fun.
That's right, new studio, right?
Indeed.
All right, thanks so much, man.
All right.
High five. Bam.